Hello YouTubers, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly update video. And oh boy, yeah, I've got, I don't know, like 45 cars added to the collection this week. Yeah, so went a little ridiculous, mainly because I met up with a buddy of mine that kind of like buys collections and stuff like that. And he picked up some stuff and wanted me to come over and take a look, and I ended up picking up quite a few items. Now, because I got so many pieces, and because it's always nice to have material for 10 Car Tuesdays, I'm not going to open everything in the second segment, but I will show you everything that I picked up. I'm going to start with the stuff right here on the table. This stuff is stuff we will look at in the second half for sure. Some of the other stuff we might take a peek at too. But anyway, first of all, for my favorite eBay seller, he had these on his eBay. So this is the Tomica Premium. Okay. This one I was excited to get. I do have the Testarossa. This is the 512BB in red. So I have the Testarossa in red, and now I have this 512BB in red. The red is actually the most common color. The other colors, I believe it's available in yellow. It might be available in white. I know the Testarossa is available in yellow and white, and those both are very much more expensive, and I think more limited than the red one. And I think the same case is probably for the 512. But anyway, I will open that up and we'll take a look at that in the second segment of the video. Some other YouTubers have already showed it off, but it's a Tomica, it's a Ferrari, it's really cool. All right, and then he threw in that package in extra. This is a Subaru 360. This is a Tomica Limited, and I can already see there's a ton of like paint issue with this one, and we'll take a look at that and kind of discuss that in the second segment of the video. But there's that Tomica Limited, and then this is another one that I picked up from him, the Lamborghini Countach LP500S, and always wanted one of these in my collection, and now I have one. I did an offer on this, a real lowball offer, and he accepted it. And I'm happy he did. This one does have some paint bubbling, though, as well. And I've realized that Tomica Limited stuff from back in the day, the ones that I've seen so far have a little bit of paint rash issues. I don't think it's like zinc pest where the car's going to like fall apart. And if you don't know what zinc pest is, go ahead and just Google it. You'll see what it is and what I'm talking about. Racing Champions had a certain era of cars that suffered from it as well. But anyway, I don't think it's that. Like, it's not going to fall apart or anything, but the paint, just the finish isn't perfect. I haven't tried like polishing it to see if that will make any sort of difference, and I might try that. I don't know. We'll see. I might experiment with it on the Subaru, and then maybe if it works, I'll use it on the Lambo. All right, so there's that. And so those are the things that I got from my buddy, and then Andrew, that van guy, stopped by my work, and he had a couple of extra vans that I still needed for my Johnny Lightning van collection, and we got two here, just two of the Ford. So I think they're both from both of these O'Connellines are from. Oh, one of them is from. Where's the series number on this? Maybe they are from two different Boogie Van series, but here's one of them, and then here is the other. I think we will forego opening these up in the second segment. I'm going to throw these eventually would be in a Johnny Lightning 10 Car Tuesday. I got a lot of Johnny Lightning added to the collection, so we'll go over that in a second. Some of the other cars I'm going to show in the second segment, though, are right here that I also picked up from. I picked up about 40 cars from him. Okay, this right here. This is a Majorette, an old school Majorette. It's a bus. Anyway, we'll take a look at it in the second. It's a made in France Majorette, so I thought it was a kind of a cool old piece. So we'll take a peek at that in the second segment. Other weird ones that I picked up. These are weird. We'll take a deeper look into these in the second segment. These are both Fords, and these are the Lindberg line. They're interesting. They're all plastic. Oh, this one's missing half a bumper. I didn't realize that, but still really cool. but just weird, definitely weird. We will take a look at those in the second segment, and I looked them up on I think eBay or whatever. I don't think they go for too much money, but they're pretty cool nonetheless. Another weird one. This is a Welly Chevelle. That's different. You don't, I've had a couple of Wellies in the collection. You don't see them too often here. And this is a Welly Chevelle, so we'll take a look at that. And then sticking with Chevelle, this is an Ertl Chevelle. I don't know if it was in the Vintage American Muscle line, but it is that tooling from that line. It does have an opening hood and an opening trunk and lens detail and all that jazz. So we will take a look at that in the second segment. I got Chevy Citation. This is a Johnny Lightning. It's a pizza delivery one. We'll take a peek at that in the second segment. I've got this Olds Cutlass Supreme. We'll take a peek at that in the second segment. I like that casting from Johnny Lightning. Another weird one. This is a Zymex. It's a Ford, and it's a Zymex. I think it's Zymex is the way you pronounce it. Zymex. It's a Thunderbird, TBird, and it's got opening doors and stuff. It's a weird one. We'll take a look at that. This one I guess we really don't need to take a look at, but this is an Auto World, and he just had there was this loose, and I'm like, well, I'll pick it up. I already have this loose, so this is definitely an extra. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, if I'm just going to keep it or not, but kind of hoarding Auto World, so maybe I will keep it. And then let's see, we got a Johnny Lightning. What is this thing? A Plymouth Fury. I like the color of this one. Basic Johnny Lightning. It does have rubber tires, but it's got a plastic base. Opening hood, but we'll peek at it in the second segment, so don't need to spend time on it now. And then a Hot Wheels. This is Petty Engineering. So I think this was in a set, and I'm not entirely sure what this was in, but it's got an opening hood. I think it's kind of like 100% series Hot Wheels, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it was in. It looks like this is a Chevy, right? Anyway, so we'll take a peek at that in the second segment. So those are the loose cars, and plus the Johnny Lightning vans, and then I got a ton more Johnny Lightning, and I'm gonna kind of blow through these because these will be seen again in a 10 Car Tuesday episode. I don't know when exactly. I might even do it the episode that follows. Excuse me, this video. I was really excited to get this. That's a Johnny Lightning Porsche. Those don't come up too often, these Porsche 911s, and I was pumped to get that. Got this. This is a Cobra, and it is a White Lightning. So that's pretty cool. Those are probably the two coolest pieces. But I did get some Street Freaks. This is 91 GMC Cyclone. Again, I should probably just keep blowing through these here. This is a 2000 Honda Civic Custom. It's kind of a cool casting. I'll show that up close. And then we got some more here. This is a 67 Pontiac GTO. Got a 69 Chevy Impala convertible. If I told you the price I paid for all this, you'd probably think I was joking. This is a 2004 Pontiac GTO. Coca-Cola. That is a cool tooling. I like that one. 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. Lightning rod. It's got some cool, like, Spectraflame-ish sort of paint going on. There's more. A Firebird. Oh, two Firebirds. Older and newer. See if you can see those. Sorry about the glare. But again, like I said, I don't really need to spend time on these because these will be shown in another video. Another Firebird right there. Ford GT. Which is cool to get this one because I already have it, but the one I have has like chips and stuff on it, so that'll be a nice clean version. And then a 1958 Belvedere from the Holiday Classic series. It's kind of got Spectraflame paint-ish going on with that one. So that is cool for sure. And then this one here, this one we will open up in the second segment of the video just because it's a 2-car pack. This is a yesterday and today pull tab to change billboard between the 61 E-Type Jag and what year is the next one? 2001 XK8 Roadster. And I'm sure that's super glary and you probably can't see the cars at all. But we will go ahead and open up this one in the second segment. So we'll look at all that loose stuff, look at the Tomica Limited. We'll open up that one, and yeah, I'm not done quite yet. I did pick up some Hot Wheels. And again, some of these will be in 10 Car Tuesday episodes, so we won't be opening any of these. But I picked up 2 of these Maserati MC12s. That's kind of a tougher tooling to find, so snagged up both of those. Snagged up a couple Jaguar XJ220s. I think I already have this one. I did not already have this wheel variation here in the pearl white one, so I was happy to grab those. And then these two I had. I think I have both of these. These are extras. The Chevelle for sure I have. The Porsche 911 GT2 I'm not so sure of, but those two, picked up those. And actually I think what we'll do, we're going to open up, we'll open up this Jag for sure, and I'm going to open up this Beetle that I got, Flying Customs. I didn't have that Beetle in my collection. Might as well pop that open in the second segment. So we'll be opening a few things. We got a lot of loose cars to look at, and out of these next ones, I'm not sure what I want to open and what I don't, but I think we should probably just open all of them, except for this one. And this one is the 58 Plymouth Belvedere, and that's a duplicate. I already have this thing. I've got it loose. I've actually got 2 of them loose. So this is an extra, might end up being trade bait or something for someone that's into the Ertl Vintage American Muscle, or it might be a cool extra to throw in someone's box, but that's that. And then I've got another Ertl. This is a tooling I didn't have. This is the 64 Ford Thunderbolt, so we will open up that one in the second segment. And then I've got what I believe is also that same exact Ertl tooling. But this is the Route 66 from Original Toy Company, which was, these were made for Kmart Corporation. And I believe that is an Ertl tooling. Now, he had more of these Route 66 cars, but to my knowledge, as far as what I could tell by looking at the vehicles themselves, it did appear that the majority of them were Racing Champions toolings. So I didn't really grab those because I don't really like a lot of Racing Champions. But this one I saw, and I'm looking at the base of it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's got to be the Ertl version. And then I have the Ertl version here, so I guess we'll be comparing those two in the second segment. And then I got these oddball Hot Wheels. This is a flipper. We're going to open both of these, why not? So Team Bartwell Hot Wheels whips. You got the Chevy Monte Carlo, which is going to be tough to... Oh, there it goes. Flip back. Chevy Monte Carlo. So that looks like a cool one. I don't remember seeing too much of that casting, so we will open up that. And then we'll also open up this one right here, this Chevy Suburban, which is huge. We will definitely open up that one and take a peek. And then lastly, the other 2 items I got, which I've already showed kind of. This one is, these are those Motor Max American Graffiti Moments in Time. This one's going to the Hot Wheels Hunter. So that's going in the box of stuff I got aside for you. And then this one I'm keeping. This is the 57 Chevy Motor Max. I think just for the sake of time, I'm not going to show this one in the second segment of the video. just because it takes a lot to open up the packaging, and I've shown these dioramas in another video, so you'll have to check out that video. Go ahead and search Moments in Time dioramas. I think that's how I worded it. Anyway, that's it. So a lot of stuff. So I added a lot of stuff. And like I said, I'm sorry I'm not going to show all this Johnny Lightning stuff in the second segment, but the video would just be hours long. And it'll be nicer to take 10 of the Johnny Lightning stuff that I haven't opened and put those in a standalone Johnny Lightning 10 Car Tuesday video. I think I actually might have, then I'm looking, I've got like 5 Johnnies over there I didn't open. I've got like 2 cases worth of Johnnies that I did a case opening video on. So I've got a lot of stuff. I might even have 3 videos, 3 10 Car Tuesdays worth of Johnny Lightning to do in the future. So, all right, so that's going to be it for this segment. We're going to go ahead and flip the camera around as we always do, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at actually quite a bit of cool stuff in the second segment. So stick around. Okay, so I lied, sort of. We are going to take a look at this Motor Max car. I went ahead and took it out of the diorama. So this is 57 Chevy, right? Motor Max. These cars are kind of cool. This one in particular has a plastic base, metal body, rubber tires. It features an opening hood, I believe. Here, wait, no, maybe not. This one does not have an opening hood. Never mind. Sorry about that. It's got a plastic top, and the top looks like it's on a little wonky, as you can kind of see there. Like it's not pressed down into the body all the way. I don't know if I could fix that or not, or even if I really should even bother, but it's on there. It's a 57 Chevy. I didn't have an example of this casting for Motor Max, so thought I would check it out. This one, lens detail up in the headlights. Just some painted detail back there, I believe. Yeah, just some paint over the chrome, and it looks okay. It's an alright car. Anyway, it's just another Motor Max example to add to the collection. I've got quite a few of these little guys now, and their premium models are somewhat neat. So there's that one. And then let's take a look at this guy right here. We'll go to Hot Wheels for just a minute. Like I said, I don't know if this came out of a set. This is definitely not like a normal Hot Wheel. It's got a opening hood. It's got to be a Richard Petty something. It's got some detail in the bottom. I think this is a Hot Wheels 100% car. Someone that knows more about it would probably be able to tell me. I think this came in a set. I want to say it came in a set with like a Superbird and maybe even 2 other cars. I'm not sure. I think I've seen it before on like eBay or something. But it's got rubber tires. It's metal on metal. It's got that opening hood feature. It's essentially full deco, so it's got that going on as well. It's pretty neat. I had to pick it up. It was $1, so can't go wrong with that. It's also got a pretty detailed interior as well, which looks like it's got a seatbelt in there. Anyway, pretty cool. So there's that. Next up, let's take a look. Let's just stick with Hot Wheels for just a second. This is real basic, just a VW Bug. Just a variation I didn't have, so I had to add it to the collection. This is in the Flying Custom series. There actually were quite a few variations of the VW Bug in the Flying Custom series, different paint and whatnot. And this one I didn't have. And there's a couple others I think I am also missing, so be on the lookout for those always. Just a little bit of scuffing here on the top from the packaging. That's why you just got to open your cars right away. And then, yeah, so that's that. But then I can't crack them on camera, I guess. But this is pretty cool, so I dig it. I think it's cool, and it's a VW Bug. I collect it, so I had to have it. And then the Jaguar XJ220. This is another casting that I collect. This is in pearl white with these like saw blade, tri-blade, whatever wheels in the Pearl Driver series. That came off the car. It's super nice. Really basic. Really no tampos on it whatsoever, except for a Hot Wheels tampo on the actual glass. I like the Jaguar XJ220 a lot. I do. The Hot Wheels casting leaves a little bit to be desired, but it is one that I'm trying to get every single version of. And I got quite a few of them, but there are still quite a few that I'm missing. You know, some for some reason with some castings, I'm variation collectors. With some brands, I like to collect one of every casting. For Auto World, I try to get everything. I just kind of have these weird little rules and stuff set up for different brands. So there's that Jaguar XJ220. Pretty neat. And then let's take a look at some Tomica. Let's start with these Tomica Limited. And actually, I'm going to start with this one right here. The one with the paint, a lot of paint issue. This is the Subaru 360. And it's really it smells like it got water damaged almost. So he gave this to me for free. This is just thrown into the package and said, this is a gift, this is an extra, check it out. And here it is. And it's got some crazy paint rash going on. You can definitely see that. So it is a Tomica, so it's got the suspension of a Tomica. It's got soft rubber tires. It is metal on metal. And it's even got that paint rash stuff going on the base. I'm not sure what causes that. I think this thing, the hood should open, yeah, or whatever. This is a rear engine car, so there's your trunk, I guess. Cargo compartment in this little itty bitty car. But it is kind of neat. It would be cool maybe for me to do, if I get back into customizing, since this thing has got these paint issues, it may be cool to go ahead and do like a rusty custom with this. And kind of rust it out, and I don't know, maybe if I could drop it and get the suspension just to stay lower. Weird choice for like the rims on this thing too. They look weird. They look almost like they would glow in the dark. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm not going to try it, but obviously they don't. But yeah, they look like they could. Look like they're that color. Glow in the dark color. All right, so that's that little Subi. Get that out of the way. And then next we're going to take a look at this Lamborghini Countach. Now this Countach also suffers a bit from that same issue. Kind of smells like maybe a little water damage. It's interesting though, because I don't think this one was ever taken out of inspection. At least it's got still this little plastic bit that I imagine is for shipping with that wing, to keep that wing intact. So this is a Tomica Limited. So it's got suspension. The base is plastic on this one. The tires are rubber. And you can see the paint rashing going on this one as well. So I'm not really sure what causes it. It seems to be some of the import diecast has issues with it. I think some older Kyosho has some issues with it. This thing I think is supposed to have an opening engine compartment. I don't know if I've got anything quickly that I could pry it open with handy. It's really, oh, there it goes. So real basic detail, nothing really to write home about in there. But the one thing I can tell, the reason why I'm pretty sure it's not like the metal that's the issue and it is just the paint, is because this wing also has it, as you can see right here. And the wing is plastic. So even the plastic has this paint rashing or bubbling issue. So I'm not sure what causes it, but that's what it looks like. If anybody knows, like if polished or something, if there's something that will smooth this out, or anything I can do to I guess alleviate this without having to drill apart the car. Like I wonder if I could, like I probably could, I don't know if it's possible, but I probably could drill it apart and clear coat the car, and maybe that will just, I don't know. And if anybody else knows about it, will it even get worse than what it is, or is it just, it is what it is, this is how it's going to be. And if that's the case, I'll just leave it as it is, and it's a pretty good example. It'll still take pretty good pictures, and I just wanted an example of this car, and I got it pretty cheap, so. Because sometimes people are asking pretty good money for these, And if you do decide you want to buy one, you go on eBay. I highly would suggest that you message the seller and ask him, for really close-up pictures of the paint quality, to ask him if the paint is bubbling at all. Because I've had, in the few Tomica Limited pieces that I've had, not limited vintage, limited. So these are older as far as I know. There's no date, I don't think, on the bottom here. But as far as I know, these are older cars. And as far as I know, there's 3 that I have now in my collection. I think only 3, yeah. This one, I got that Nissan Fairlady that I showed in the last episode, and then these 2. And all 3 of them have some sort of paint bubbling issue. So this is Tomica Premium. Premium line of Tomica. I've got a few Tomica Premiums. I've never had any issues with paint rash on these. I guess time will tell, of course. And here is this car. It is quite nice. I've heard a couple complaints about it being cheaply built and whatnot, saying that this back hatch opens up. And yeah, if you pull hard, you are going to pull this thing right off. And that's fine, because it will snap right back into position. And it's almost good that they do make it easy to pull right off, because that way it's kind of impossible to break, because you could pull it off and you could put it right back on. So paint wise, I think we're looking good. There is maybe just a little bubble right there, but you will see that on almost any branded diecast from time to time. This does not have suspension. The wheels are plastic, as they are with some of these Tomica Premiums. And of course, the other real cool feature is the headlights pop up. And I just think that's really neat. I don't know, I like it. I think it's really cool. It's a cool example of this car. Tomica Premium kind of sits somewhere weird in the collecting thing. They've got licensed models that are built with a pretty good quality, fairly realistic. Some of them have rubber tires, some of them have plastic tires. A lot of them have either opening doors or some sort of opening feature. So they're kind of like a car that's premium, but kind of to be played with. So it's not like just a display piece. This is kind of something that you can play with a little bit. It's got the plastic tires. It rolls really well. All that stuff. It's kind of somewhere in between. What they're coming out with now is like Matchbox with moving parts and stuff like that. I know those are less detailed and stuff, and they cost a lot less and all that. But I don't know why I'm putting this back in the bag. It's going on display. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting indeed. And there's the Ferrari official product seal of approval. I don't know. Tell me what you think about this car down in the comments below. Did you pick one up? Because they are pretty much readily available. If you go on eBay, you can get one of these for like $15 shipped. So you should be able to find it. All right, so we got to keep moving because we got a lot more to look at. Let's do some more Hot Wheels. Chevy Monte Carlo. And I never even knew this series existed. The Whips. Bartwell, I don't even know. Team Bartwell. Funkmaster Flex's hip-hop's most successful influential DJ, but there's one thing he loves more than spinning and creating hit records, is straight up car fanatic. Yeah, Funkmaster Flex. Cut adhesive tab, remove car in case. What? There's a case? Can't just rip this thing open. Do we really need to cut the adhesive tab? I don't think so. There it is. This apparently is the case. It was rubber banded, it looks like. It would be easier with the blade. And here it is. So I thought this thing was interesting, and I suppose it is. Just zoom in maybe a little bit on it. So here it is, Monte Carlo, Team Bartwell. Bartwell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Somebody will correct me. We got plastic base. It's the Montezuma. So that is like, I guess, sort of a fantasy casting from Hot Wheels. But, of course, this one is listed as a Chevy Monte Carlo because the Montezuma basically is a Chevy Monte Carlo. At least model after one. I don't know if it was ever straight up licensed as one. Obviously, they have licensed versions, as I'm assuming, because they would have had to license Chevy to put Chevy in the title of the car. The windshield is just tinted. It almost looks like it's yellowed because of the pearl white behind it, but it is that just tinted color. The interior's got some detail in it. It's kind of neat, I guess. It's different for a Hot Wheel for sure. It's got like those hard rubber tires on it, really low profile. Not something you'd see on a modern real rider at all, but kind of cool. So there's that one, and then we got the Chevy Suburban. This one, do I have a blade handy? I do. We're gonna go ahead and cut this one open because it's gonna be a lot easier. Packaging. This one also has rubber bands that you can just rip right off because they are completely rotted. Don't ever use rubber bands in packaging diecast anymore. Hot Wheels, don't use them. This is one of 30,000 limited edition. I didn't see that on the last one. Was it on the last one? No, it wasn't. So I guess you could call that limited. This one, it's got those same like low profile tires, bigger rims. It's a big Suburban casting. I don't have any examples of this casting, so it's kind of cool to get it. This one does not roll at all, but it's still kind of cool, right? You get taillights, you get headlights, you get some details. Doesn't roll. Plastic base. So it's weird because it says it's in the Hot Wheels like metal collection, and I know they're not talking about like, you know, heavy metal music. And it's not metal. I mean, the base is plastic. So that's kind of goofy to me. I don't know what else is in the series. I never even knew the series existed. So it's kind of neat. What year did it come out in? License product.com. I don't see any copyright dating on this. Oh, here on the bottom of these. 2003. So probably 2004, I would assume. All right, so that's those. What are we going to look at next? Let's look at some Johnny Lightning. Let's start with this. Let's open this guy up. Now looking at it now, I don't think I'm going to need any tools to open this. Lots of packaging on this 2-pack. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. So it is a Billboard situation that comes out of the plastic bag. Whoa, there goes the cars. So let me see if I can change the camera angle here. So there's your Jaguar E-Type. And then you pull it, and there's your XK8 Roadster. I guess that's kind of cool. It's a Billboard. 1/64 scale Billboard. I mean, you could probably, I don't know if you could use that in a diorama or not. Here's the bottom of the package. We really don't need to look at it, but it held the cars, and the cars just fell right out of there. All right, so the cars. Here's the Jaguar XKR from Johnny Lightning. This is the only example of this tooling that I've got in my collection, so I guess I'm glad to add it. Hood opens, I guess, the proper way that it should. I'm not really familiar with this particular Jaguar. It's convertible. We get metal base, metal body, fair amount of detail, and not really the most exciting looking era for Jaguar, but I guess pretty cool nonetheless. So there's that one. But the one I really wanted out of this 2-pack, of course, is this one right here, this E-Type Convertible. Very, very cool. You get some detail. The only other one I had at this car was an Austin Powers Jag, which it's nice to get it now in like just a basic color. So I think that's pretty cool to get. Metal body, metal base, of course. It's Johnny Lightning. It's got rubber tires. This one does. And it looks alright. It's not the best looking E-Type Jag, but it is fairly decent, and I am glad to add it to the collection. Alright, so moving on with a couple more Johnny Lightnings quick here. We got this one, Coupe Supreme. 1976, metal body, metal base. This one does have a opening hood feature. Some detail under there. Rubber tires with tread. Headlights and taillights, of course. www.screech.wi. What is that about? I don't know. WI. Is that WI, Wisconsin? Or is that supposed to... I don't know. I can't read that. It definitely says www.screech. So that's interesting. I might have to go to that website and find out what that's about, if it still exists. And there's that one. Old Cutlass. I like that casting a lot. I've got a white Lightning of it even. Not of that particular version, but... And this is another one I like quite a bit too, the Chevy Citation, and here's the Pizza Slice of Heaven. I used to deliver pizzas back in the day, one of the best jobs you could ever have, and this has an opening hood. This one is one of the cheaper, like Forever 64 Johnnies. Sorry about moving the camera around here. So it's got a plastic base, it's got plastic tires, but it still maintains its opening features, it still maintains its detail, and is still a fairly cool car. The wheels look kind of goofy on this one though. They look way too big for the wheel wells. But it's still cool because it's a pizza delivery vehicle, and how appropriate. So it's a nice cream color. Alright, and this one's Fury. I just like the color of it. That's why I picked it up. This one's really basic for details. You don't get anything in the front. You get just a little bit in the back. You do get that micro Plymouth right there, which is kind of nice. And you do get rubber tires and stuff, but it does have a plastic base. So this is one of those Johnny Lightning Forever 64 releases. And no detail under the hood, just the engine. But it opens up really nice. And I think these are still pretty cool. The roll's really good. Again, rubber tires. I like it. Alright, now let's get into some weird diecast. Actually, we're going to save the weirdest for last. We're going to do the American Muscle first. Now, you guys know I like these American Muscle cars. If you can get your hands on these for a reasonable price, I definitely recommend them. I don't think you'll be disappointed with them. They have a limited tooling catalog, obviously, because they weren't, I don't think, around for very long. So you got this Chevelle. So what's cool about these, they're almost built like a larger scale, like 1/18 scale car, with the exception of course, the wheels don't turn and stuff like that. Doors don't open. But the trunk opens on these cars. So this one barely opens, but it does open. So the trunk opens on these cars. The hood opens on these cars. And they're very detailed, as you can see under there. They have separate components for like the dash, or the grill of the car, bumper of the car, and all that stuff. They have lens detail up front for the headlights. You get painted detail, but it is an inserted bumper. Very small printing SS right there. This one happens to have like the vinyl top going on. It's got chrome trim, chrome stuff there. It's got some detail. You can see the shift lever in there. The shifter is painted, which is cool. There's some other details in there too. The shifter's actually chrome. That's pretty awesome. Got a floor shifter. And then the base is actually quite detailed. Now this one's not painted detail, but all the little pieces are there. You notice how you cannot see any rivets or screws, and that's because they're covered up by these plastic pieces. There's a plastic piece for like the fuel tank, plastic piece for like the suspension and stuff up front. This whole like the drivetrain and everything, like this is all separate pieces. This is all separate pieces. So that is really cool. The wheels sometimes are a little bit lackluster. These ones are all right. And I think this car looks pretty great. I've got another version of the Chevelle, and it looks a little different than this one. I got another Ertl car. Sometimes these come with side mirrors too, so let's check on the other two and see what we got. So the other two are going to be the same essentially. So we're going to start with this one. This is the 1964 Ford Thunderbolt. Packaging is kind of decent. Total Performance Cars 1964 Ford Thunderbolt. Some information about it on the back as well. And here it is. So you got the teardrop hood. That's cool. Ford Thunderbolt. The tires coming off the front here. Totally fixable. So that's all right. These are another one you got to kind of watch out for, like zinc pest, paint rash kind of things going on. This one's paint's great. There's no problem, no issues with it. So there's the base. So you could see all those details on the bottom. This one actually has some painted detail as well, which some of these cars did. And it's got the opening trunk. It's got the opening hood with a great amount of detail in that motor. Definitely like Auto World quality as far as the detail goes under the hood. And then you get rubber tires, of course. So these do have plastic bases again. But then they do also have inserts up front. So your headlights, your grille piece is an insert. They're built almost like little models, and I think some of them were available as a model, little 1/64 scale model kit. The wheels on this one want to fall off because they're skinny, but they're quite wide. So the back ones are a little bit fatter than the front ones, and they're slick, so that's kind of cool too. Got a drag thing going on. And the fuel tank, you can see, is kind of popping off right here, so you can tell it's a separate piece. I should be able to maybe pop that back in, but I don't need to do it right now. And then lens detail in the back. So really cool in yellow. Let's check out this other one. This has got to be the same tooling. I'm pretty sure my theory is correct. Let's go ahead and open this up. Welcome to Tulsa. Enjoy your stay. It's got that same mirrored case that comes with some of these Ertl cars too, so that is also kind of a giveaway that it's that same company. So again, opening hood, opening trunk. You just hope it shuts. This one's, I hate when they put them open in the package. This one's got same detail. Yeah, this is exactly the same tooling. The wheels are slightly different, or the tires, I should say. Yeah, no, they're the same. Rims are the same even. Everything's the same. Again, you got shifter detail in there, steering wheel detail, a massive amount of detail on these little cars. Just fantastic. I quite enjoy them. So I'm gradually adding more and more Vintage American Muscle to the lineup. They're really awesome, and I definitely want as many as I can get. Like any color variation, any casting that I don't have. I'm interested in it all. All right, so sticking with some weird stuff. Here's this. This is a Welly. I just thought this was interesting. So this is a Welly Chevy Chevelle SS396, made in China. I've got a couple of Wellys in my collection. They're all VWs. I think I've got, I might have a Porsche, a Welly Porsche. Not quite sure, but Welly. I don't even know where these were available in the U.S. I have no idea. I have no idea if they're still available anywhere. They're very basic. I mean, this one's very basic. Plastic base, metal body. No detail, but it does have, like the bumper, again, like the bumper in the, bumpers in the front and the back, they are separate pieces, and they're separate from the interior because the interior is white, but you get chrome bumpers, and, you know, so they're definitely separate pieces. So it's more pieces than a Hot Wheel, but still very basic. And I think, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'm glad to add that to the collection. Sticking with weird stuff, we got this here, TBird. Zymex. It's hard to find Zymex cars in any sort of good shape, at least from what I've come across. This one's got kind of like the windshield looks like it's been pushed in. I don't know if that's fixable or not. It might be. The doors on these, I think, typically open. I've got some other weird ones. I got like a van and stuff. I've got a couple other Zymex in the collection, but whenever I see one, I kind of pick it up. Just kind of cool to get an example of it. It is a metal base, and I think they are supposed to have a little bit of suspension. I think they're typically also smaller than 1/64 scale, from what I'm gathering. Made in Hong Kong. So this one, metal on metal, plastic tires. It's got plastic inserts for both bumpers, and has a white interior. That's a separate piece, and then of course a glass piece, and it's got opening doors. So it's a pretty interesting little piece. So add that to my tiny little Zymex collection. I think I only got a couple of other ones. And then this one right here, this Majorette bus. If you can find older Majorette usually actually isn't very cheap to get it. The made in France stuff. So this is made in France. That might be the name of the bus. I'm not really sure. And it looks like it's in 1/87 scale, if that's correct. Paint's so thick on the base that's kind of hard to read anything on it. Interesting bus, though. I don't know what that says in French. I should have Google translated it. But it's got a metal base, metal separate piece for the front bumper. The rest of it is plastic, so body's plastic. This is a sticker, not a tampo. So I have no idea how to date it. I don't know when exactly it's from. I really don't know much about Majorette at all. Vintage Majorette, modern Majorette. I don't really know much about it. This thing is kind of dirty too, so it could be cleaned up a bit. But I just thought it was, I don't know, a cool piece to add to the collection, something different. I always like to have examples of weird and different brands. And then speaking of that, the last thing we're going to take a look at is these weird cream-colored plastic cars. So you get a Chevy Vega from the Lindberg line. This one is missing the part of the bumper. The bumper is a separate piece. Here's the front. And then it also has a little chrome bit in the headlights that I think is part of this front piece. Weird stuff. It's held together by flathead screws. It's got one solid, what looks to be like a brass axle. It's got rubber tires, detailed rims. This one does not roll very good. This one rolls pretty good. The bodies are this weird plastic color, which makes me think that these were, I don't know if these were like little model kits that you could put together and paint on your own, and that's why they're all this like same oddball cream color. I'm obviously not going to paint them. I'm just going to keep them as an example. This is a Ford Cobra number 21, the Lindberg line. I didn't get a chance to really look too much of these up either, but they are kind of neat and definitely different, and definitely like 1/64 scale. So it doesn't have a scale listed on the bottom. But yeah, just thought those were kind of neat. If anybody else knows anything about those, please comment down below. By the way, always comment down below. If you have any information to add to these videos, comment down below and let me know what you have to add. I do not reply to almost any videos nowadays, just because I honestly just don't have the time, and I'll get yelled at by my wife if I'm on my phone constantly and all that. And if I replied to all these comments, I'd be on my phone a lot. But I do read them all. I do read them all, and I especially love the ones that add information to the video. So I really appreciate that, and I think the people that watch these videos probably do scroll through the comments and read what other people are saying. So if you have information to add to the videos, by all means, I mean, please chime in. Please chime in the discussion below the video. I do appreciate it. I do read it. I learn from it, and all of that stuff. I am not an expert in diecast. I just am learning as I go along, as I collect, and varying what I collect as I go along. And yeah, so it's always nice to hear some information from other people that know, you know, about these weird and oddball brands and different stuff I didn't know, and I like to learn. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. We had a nice long one today. I believe this is going to clock in at almost 50 minutes. So sorry for taking up all your time. But have a great day. Have a great week. Look forward to some 10 Car Tuesdays featuring some Johnny Lightning. Look forward to some pretty sweet Matchbox Mondays I have coming up. Actually, I've got the next 3 videos should be pretty darn cool for sure. It's just something different than just regular single cars. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So instead of rambling on, let's just say have a good week.